what is going on between the President Paul Kagame of Rwanda and the President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. Why are they fighting over the Congolese affairs? Is this all about Congo mineral, or is there something more personal that is putting these two individuals get to fight so hard? What are they trying to hide from people of Africa? And we are here to talk about it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this press conference, the president of Rwanda, President Paul Kagame, have made serious allegations toward the president of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa. These allegations, it had to do with the corruption deal which took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And Paul Kagame have mentioned the name of President Cyril Ramaphosa, saying that he was part of this deal.
You know how the current president came to be president? He was just called to the office, and this man thought he was making a good deal, and they handed him power. Do you also know that actually there were witnesses, heads of state? Did you know that? One of them being the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. The other one being the president of Egypt, Sisi. The other one being President Ramaphosa of South Africa. You ask to go and visit them and ask them this question. So this whole thing, you see, no, I wish they could actually come forward and say, hey, wait a minute, by the way, we know this story. the story, and the other thing is, you also know that Rwanda being blamed for M23, FC-M23, Eastern Congo, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Fine, you can blame us for doing whatever we could to make sure FDR doesn't cause Rwanda problems.
That is President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, who have to mention the name of a President Ramaphosa in this so-called deal, which he believed that President Ramaphosa was part of it. We are going to talk more about it in a short. But I just want us to at least think of what was the words of President Ramaphosa when this conflict first started. Recently, President Ramaphosa was in Rwanda. He went there to attend an African business summit or something like that. And when he was given a chance to speak concerning their relationship between President Ramaphosa and President Kagame, President Ramaphosa was very clear by saying this.
People may think that President Kagame and I are in conflict, and some of you may have thought that there's going to be fireworks as we're sitting close to each other.
It is wonderful to see you agreeing and not contradicting each other. You're all thinking it.
Listening to President Ramaphosa very well, you'll notice that he used a diplomacy language to avoid all this conflict, because there were thousands, or should I say even millions of people who were watching them all over on the TV. So he could not come and sit down and start attacking back at Paul Kagame, who have lashed a lot on him. But he came and said that we don't have any problem. That is the politician's language. But listening to Paul Kagame coming back with this kind of allegations and putting them down and start attacking President Ramaphosa, that is a simple message to tell everyone out there that I'm not okay with all this. Why President Paul Kagame have to come and have this kind of language toward President Ramaphosa when his homologue have tried to explain everyone that they don't have any problem or any pending business among them? Why have to come and mention President Ramaphosa in all this? Because these are very serious allegations. Now, as you all know, last week, the Congolese government and the Rwandan government, they had signed a peace deal in the US.
This agreement is the product of months of coordinated efforts by multiple actors. With this agreement, we also committed to facilitate the return of refugees in our respective territories. There is no doubt that the road ahead will not be easy. But with the continued support of the United States and other partners, we believe that a turning point has been reached.
By signing this agreement, we reaffirm a simple truth. Peace is a choice, but also a responsibility to respect international law, to uphold human rights, and to protect the sovereignty of states. Those who have suffered the most are watching. They are expecting this agreement to be respected, and we cannot fail them. This agreement builds on the efforts of many. We do not want a peace shaped by elites. We want a peace that is real, lived, shared, and built with us.
Well, this peace deal is a peace deal which makes Donald Trump to celebrate more about it.
You're going to do what's in the agreement. We'll say you better do what's in that agreement, right? Because if somebody fails to do that, bad things happen. But I have a feeling that after 30 years, I think after 30 years, you're all set.
We are.
I think both of you have said that's enough, right?
That's enough. Yeah.
That's enough. You've seen it all. So this is a wonderful day. It's a great day. We've had some tremendous success.
It was not only Donald Trump, even people within his cabinet, they are all celebrating about this deal because they believe it is only Donald Trump who have such kind of capacity in order for him to finish a war which lasts for more than 3 decades in DR Congo.
But to my fellow Americans, this is really a celebratory moment. This is a big moment for our country because under the president's leadership, we've taken what was 30 years of killing and war, the worst war in terms of death count since World War II, and now we're on a pathway to peace. And so if I think about what I know about these two countries, for 30 years, pretty much the entire time that I can remember these two countries being in the news, much of the story has been about them fighting one another, about them killing one another. And now we can look forward to a future where my children will look at this moment as the beginning of a new story, a story of prosperity and of peace. So thanks to the president, congratulations to the entire team, and to my fellow Americans. We should all be really proud because it's amazing what active presidential leadership can accomplish when it's geared towards peace and prosperity, and that's what we have in the Oval Office right now. So great job, sir.
Now, here's the thing. In this deal, they did not reveal much about what they had agreed on. This deal did not disclose many information or details or the true problems of all this conflict that's been taking place in DR Congo. There are some who believe that this deal it is all about America to come and loot the Congolese minerals.
And there will be some bilateral agreements. We're negotiating a minerals deal with the DRC for critical minerals. Many American companies have shown interest in investing in the DRC, and these we're talking about long-term investments. Same thing with Rwanda. Many American companies have shown interest, and not only in mining, but also in the midstream and downstream, which will be the processing of minerals.
And a lot of our companies are in both of these countries now, especially since we've been getting along so well. It's probably the way we were brought together, and we have a lot of our big companies are there.
There is a lot which is being hidden behind this deal. Let us not focus more about it because we are busy working on a proper video where we will explain more concerning this deal. But yesterday, in his press conference, President Paul Kagame was asked a question concerning this deal. What he said is what surprised me, and I believe it's going to surprise you as well. For a person who have just signed a peace deal, yet he sound to be threatening this same deal, saying that he's going to do what is necessary in order for him to protect his territories if this deal is not being respected by other side, which is the Congolese government.
Out of this conflict, because everybody knows where this conflict started from and by who, and it is nothing to do with Rwanda. This M23, I have said it before, came from Uganda. They did not come from here. Why was it not made Uganda's problem? Are these things I'm talking about new to you? You don't know them? But the story goes out today, it's every day, Rwanda, M23, Rwanda, FT. Yes, but you should also tell people how this became Rwanda's problem. Our problem was simple, twofold. FDLR it has been a problem in the past. It's a problem now. It will be a problem in the future if it continues to exist, threatening Rwanda. There is no way. We don't, as I again said before, we don't need anybody's permission to protect our country. It doesn't matter. So I've given you a very wide explanation to the very simple question you asked. For me, I'm thankful to President Trump's decision. And by the way, even if it doesn't work, I don't think they should be the ones to be blamed. They are not the ones to blame. Because in the end, they are not the ones to implement what we have agreed.
These are the signs, the clear signs, which shows that this deal won't be respected. Because there is no way you can go and sign a peace deal, yet before even this deal get to be finalized, you already start threatening up other parts which are participating in this deal. Already you can tell that the real problem in this deal is not being solved. And just because it is the USA who have to come and put a gun on their head and imposing them to sign this peace deal because Donald J. Trump wants to be accredited for him putting more effort to bring peace between these two nations. This kind of deal is not going to do anything because the real problem is not being solved so far. We all know that it is Paul Kagame with his army who are busy backing up the M23 rebels in DR Congo. Yet, the M23 in this deal, they are not being mentioned anyway, but they are busy dealing with Rwanda. Let's say, for example, Rwanda accepted to remove their troops from DR Congo soil and take them back to Rwanda. What about these other Congolese who will already be part of these M23 groups? What will be their outcome? Is Rwanda also going to welcome them back in their country? Because if Rwanda have to do this, this will be again a big clear sign showing that it's actually Rwanda who've been the mastermind behind all this. So you see that there's nothing good to be celebrated there because there are even many people who are contradicting this same deal, including Congolese themselves. There are those ones who believe that is a good idea, but there are those ones who believe that the real problem, the real issue is not being addressed here. Because it is true that it's Rwanda who invaded Congo, and not Congo who had invaded Rwanda, not even once. It is obvious that Rwanda, that the one who get to benefit a lot from Congo, they became #1 producer of gold, #1 producer of this and that, Congolese minerals, which they don't have in Rwanda. Now, with all this being said, you now understand why Paul Kagame, he will continue attacking each and every individual, or whether it is the head of the state around Africa continent, who want to come and stand on his way. And you understand why Paul Kagame is still attacking President Cyril Ramaphosa. Because the men still believe that the influence which South Africa government under the leadership of President Ramaphosa, they have out there, is something which will play a very big role. Remember, President Ramaphosa recently, when he visited the United States of America, he said the same problem to Donald Trump. And when he was busy talking about it there, he did not talk much about Rwanda, but he only spoke about the Great Lake in Central of Africa, mentioning the DRC on how they are being attacked and how people of Congo are being killed. This report to a president such as Donald Trump, one of the most powerful men in the world, is not something which Paul Kagame will feel happy about it. Because President Ramaphosa bringing this report to the United States of America, telling Americans on how they can do something to solve the conflict in the DR Congo, is something which will make Paul Kagame be even more angry toward President Ramaphosa, because for him, he's a man who used to see other head of the state speaking in behalf of Rwandans, of genocide which took place in 1994, and this and that, because these are the things which make Rwanda to be where they are today. They don't have enough minerals in their country. They don't have anything good that can increase up their economy. But the economy of Rwanda, the construction of Rwanda, came from the international aids, and we all know that. So now, seeing people like Ramaphosa going out, or maybe other African head of the state who goes out and speaking bad about Rwanda or for what they're doing in DR Congo, they are kind of like destroying the reputation of Rwanda. And that's one thing which is keeping Paul Kagame very angry toward all these people. We shall wait for how long this kind of conflict is going to go. Because remember, Paul Kagame have went far by saying that if South Africa continue to go to behave this way, then they'll find us on their way. They'll find us on their way, and we are willing to even go to the war with South Africa. Imagine Paul Kagame threatening up South Africa, saying that we can even go to war with South Africa because of that. So that's how you can tell how Africans, they keep on failing other Africans. African leaders are so disappointing for many people out there. Because I can't imagine a head of the state who's sitting down, criticizing another head of the state, saying that no, he was not elected. Instead, he was given power. And there is a witness who are still there. He mentioned the president of Egypt, the president of, is it Togo? The name just went far. And the president of South Africa, which is Cyril Ramaphosa. And he even asked the journalist, he said, go to Ramaphosa and ask him about this, if he's going to deny it. So he must be having a very, should I say, serious proof to all this. Because President Ramaphosa can also sue him. Even the president of Congo, they can sue him to the International Criminal Court so that he can go ahead and confirm whatever he's saying. Now, when he is saying all this, who did not know that Paul Kagame in Rwanda, since he became the president, he never allowed any other leader, any other opposition leader to take over him? Who don't know that he have killed whenever it was necessary for him to kill? He have jailed those ones who were imposing to him, all just because you want to remain in power. What kind of a country whereby you are so-called Democrats, in democracy I mean to say, you organize the elections and the winner keep coming on the same person. And even when they are winning, they are not winning maybe with 52% or 60%. No, they are winning with 98%. 98%. That's very strange, isn't it? Now, let's put that aside. When he becomes and accused President Felix Tshisekedi, saying that no, this man was not elected. So, which means he knows something. Which means he knows how they usually do it behind the scene, how they usually cook elections. If he can tell what happened in DR Congo. So, because he knows also what he usually do in his country in order for him to come out with 98% or 92% of votes. Isn't it? That is African leaders for you. People that you don't need to confide or trust because they'll keep on disappointing you. Guys, thank you. I'm looking forward to see you again in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.